What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. Keep calm and game on. We're just kind of watching some different news stories that are happening at the moment. We currently have, I guess, a live stream of what's going on in LA. This is from Crux. I'm going to put that YouTube channel in the chat real quick. But we're just kind of browsing the different stories that are going on currently. Let me just type this in real quick. Video. Let's see. Give me 1 second. But if you are watching live, feel free to drop some comments down below. But I think it's just kind of switching between live feeds that are going on around the area. But yeah, this is Crux TV. Might switch it up and watch some other things, but this was just something I saw that was on my news feed. So I'm like, yo, let's check it out. But yeah, we're just going to react to different news stories and whatnot. If you are watching this live, feel free to drop some comments down below. A lot of people popped in last night. So shout out to you guys if you're brand new to the channel. But yeah, we just chilling. Kind of watching the different protests. Looks like there's still a lot of people out in in LA. A lot of people out in LA still. This is what Routers is showing, I guess. I'm assuming this is just switching between the different news feeds, like live feeds that are down there. Lots of people. Lots of people out and about at the moment. I don't know what the temperature is over in California, but it looks kind of hot. There's a lot of people. That's a lot of people down there. Okay, so we'll give them a like. What else do we got? What else do we got going on? Let me just see what different news feeds we got. Let me hit the news button. Let's see what pops up. Going to accomplish a lot. Trump speaks at G7 summit. Let's watch that real quick. This is from live news from Fox.
Mr. President, welcome to Canada.
Thank you very much.
It's a great honor. Happy birthday. A few days short.
A little bit.
A few days short, but didn't have a chance to
Day
see you
short,
on the day. Happy birthday to the U.S. military.
I'll post that link in the chat as well if you guys want to check it out.
And this is the 50th birthday, if you will, of the G7. This marks the 50th birthday of the G7, and the G7 is nothing without U.S. leadership, and your personal leadership in the United States, many issues, geopolitics, economic, technology, and working hand in hand with the United States, Canada and the United States, and the other G7 partners with your leadership. Very much looking forward to the meeting and grateful to have you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it, and we've developed a very good relationship, and we're going to be talking about trade and many other things. And we have a whole group of people, some traders and some other people. I see my top economy people. But we have a very talented group of people, and you do too, and I know they work together very well. I look forward to that.
If you are watching live, feel free to drop some comments down below.
Barack Obama and a person named Trudeau.
I guess this happened around 5 hours ago.
And I would say that
Trump
that
met
was a mistake,
with Canadian Prime Minister Carney.
And you wouldn't have a war
I guess
right
the
now
G7
if Trump were
summit.
president 4 years ago, but it didn't work out that way. But it used to be the G8, and now it's, I guess, what's that, 8 years ago, it switched over. They threw Russia out, which I claimed was a very big mistake, even though I wasn't in politics then. I was very loud about it. It was a mistake in that you spend so much time talking about Russia, and he's no longer at the table, so it makes life more complicated. But you wouldn't have had the war. Other than that, I think we're going to accomplish a lot, and I expect to. And I think our primary focus will be trade and trade with Canada, and I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching live, feel free to drop your comments.
What is holding up a deal with Canada from your perspective?
It's not so much holding up.
I
think
believe
we have
I got
different
public
concepts. I
chat
have a
turned
tariff
on. Let me just double
concept.
check real quick.
Mark has a different concept, which is something that some people like. But we're going to see if we can get to the bottom of it today. I'm
Yeah,
a
we
tariff
got
person.
chat turned on.
I've always
Okay,
been a
just
tariff.
checking.
It's simple, it's easy, it's precise, and it just goes very quickly. And I think Mark has a more complex idea, but also very good. So we're going to look at both, and we're going to see what we're going to come out with something, hopefully.
Mr. President, do you think a deal is achievable within days, within weeks? Is there that kind of runway?
Yeah, it's achievable. Both parties have to agree.
Anything
Sure.
is possible.
Mr. President, on Israel and Iran, have you heard any signals or seen any messages from intermediaries that Iran wishes to de-escalate the conflict?
Yeah,
What have you heard? What have you heard from the Iranians?
they'd like to talk, but they should have done that before. I had 60 days, and they had 60 days, and on the 61st day, I said, we don't have a deal. They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
And what would you say, in your opinion, what would it take for the U.S. to get involved in this conflict militarily?
I don't want to talk about that. We'll
And
see.
you mentioned Putin. Do you think that he should have a seat at the G7 today, that it should be the G8?
I'm not saying he should at this point, because too much water's gone over the dam, maybe. But it was a big mistake. Obama didn't want him, and the
Lots of mistakes
head of
were
your
made when
country,
Biden was
the
in
proud head
office.
of your country didn't
Let's
want
just
him.
say
This
that.
was a big mistake. You wouldn't have that war. You know, you have your enemy at the table. Even I don't even consider him. He wasn't really an enemy at that time. There was no concept. If I were president, this war would have never happened. But likewise, if he were a member of what was called the G8 at that time.
How's
it was
everybody's
always the
day
G8.
going? We're just kind of watching
you wouldn't have a
the
war right
news
now.
that happened earlier. We might switch to some live feeds of what's going on in California with all the protests.
We've always supported Israel. We have for a long
we
period
just
of
chilling?
time, strongly. And Israel's doing very well right now.
Why not have China as the G8? Why not have China here, the biggest economy in the world after the United States?
Well, it's not a bad idea. I don't mind that. If somebody wants to suggest China coming in, I think we suggest. But you want to have people that you can talk to. You know, they don't talk to. Putin speaks to me. He doesn't speak to anybody else. He doesn't want to talk because he was very insulted when he got thrown out of the G8. As I would be, as you would be, as anybody would be. He was very insulted. And, I mean, he was thrown out by Trudeau, who convinced one or two people, along with
Any Trudeau
Obama.
fans out
He was
there?
thrown
Did anybody
out.
like Trudeau?
And he's not a happy person about it, I can tell you that. He basically doesn't even speak to the people that throw him out, and I agree with him. Go ahead.
On immigration, why are you ordering ICE to target Democratic inner cities? What's behind that?
I don't know what you're saying.
You did a post last night where you said you want ICE to really target Democrats.
Yeah, I want them to focus on the cities because the cities are where you really have what's called sanctuary cities, and that's where the people are. I look at New York, I look at Chicago. I mean, you got a really bad governor in Chicago and a bad mayor, but the governor's probably the worst in the country, Pritzker. But I look at how that city has been overrun by criminals, and you know, New York and L.A. Look at L.A. L.A. Those people weren't from L.A. They weren't from California. Most of those people, many of those people, and yeah, that's a focus. Biden allowed 21 million people to come into our country. Of that, vast numbers of those people were murderers, killers, people from gangs, people from jails. They emptied their jails out into the U.S. Most of those people are in the cities, all blue cities, all Democrat-run cities. And they
Biden
think
did
they're
let a
gonna use
lot of
them
people
to
come
vote.
across that
It's not gonna
border.
happen.
It's like, what, 20 million people?
You said it would take 2 weeks to decide if
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'm going to exercise my role, if you will, as G7 chair, since we have a few more minutes with the president and his team, and then we actually have to start the meeting to address some of these big issues. So.
Okay, so let's see what else is going on here. Go back real quick. Let's check it out. We were watching, what were we watching here? We're watching this. Now, this says it's live. I don't know if this is actually live footage. I'm not sure. It says it's live. Unless this is just like a recap from what happened yesterday. I do not know. That is a lot of horses out there. I feel like you don't want to get shot with one of those like rubber bullet things they got. That does not sound doesn't sound like a good time. Sounds it's a little bit painful. I don't exactly know what that umbrella is supposed to do, bro, but okay. Crazy, crazy times. Like, get back. Do not do what you're doing here, buddy. Is this happening right now? If I look up LA riots live, what pops up? This pop up? I search by live stream. Maybe that is what's happening right now.
Very soon. So start telling the truth.
CNN News Live. I guess this is what's going on live.
On your official judicial record. And that's against the law already.
That's a lot of smoke. That's a crap ton of smoke there. I don't know what's going on. Okay, what else we got here? Feel like that's probably old. Recorded earlier. Okay, this is recorded earlier. This is from CNBC. Just popping in, guys. We are watching some footage from the LA protests that have been going on. This, I guess, was recorded earlier. This is from NBC. Is that NBC? Pretty sure. CNBC. I guess this is like a recap of what previously happened. There's a lot of cops on bikes. What do you guys think of all these protests that are going on? I mean, if they're peaceful, I'm fine with that. But when you start lighting cars on fire, throwing rocks at cops, that doesn't seem very peaceful. I don't agree with all that, you know? What else we got going on? Let's see here. Trying to find something that's live. Live in Times Square. Anti-ICE protest. Is this live right now? Just because it says it's live doesn't necessarily mean it is live. From Times of India. Might be footage of what happened on Saturday. That's a lot of horses. What else do we have here? That doesn't look very good. Something just exploded over there. I don't know if those are cars that are on fire, spewing out all that smoke. I don't know. This is from CNN right now. CNN News Live 18. Oh, the Popo showed up. Popo showed up. Hey, bro, maybe like get out of the road. Maybe get out of the road. Okay, what other feeds do we get? Take a peek. What is, let's see, what is... Let's see if there's any other news things happening. Let's go to this.
What potentially spooked him off? We know about an incident in New Hope there, a suburb of the Twin Cities. Do we know more what happened with that interaction with law enforcement?
Well, we know there were two, Maple Grove and New Hope, in between the first and the other one we know of with the Hortman couple. And they do say they're in the same region. One of them was not home at the time, and police have been alerting them since the first one there. There was an alert gone out about a suspicious person. However, thankfully there was a not successful attempt, those two in between, which is probably why we're just hearing about them today. Andy Mack.
All right, very good. It's interesting as they try to put this timeline together of where Vance Belper was.
Is there anything happening from the White House currently? Don't believe so. Guys, I'm going to wrap this stream up because there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot going on at the moment. I'll probably be back on in a bit playing some video games. So if you want to tune in for that, feel free to do so. But yeah, thanks for popping in. Thanks for hanging out. And I will catch you in the next video. Until then, keep calm and game on. Toodles.